Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Carl Giller is suing his mom, Jennifer Giller, in the amount of $5,499.94. He says the defendant maimed his special mannequin, and he demands she pay for it.
In the matter of Carl Giller and Jennifer Giller, you're suing your mother for $5,499 and some change?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
How dare you sue your mother? You better hurry up and talk to me about this.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The reason I'm suing my mother is because she destroyed very valuable and sentimental property of mine that she had no right to destroy.
Okay, explain a little more.
The property I'm talking about is a doll that I live with. It's one of those mannequins that you live with and sleep with and eat with and you take out. And I come from, I know it's a weird lifestyle, but there's a small community of us in San Francisco who we just continue to live this way. It's like a...
Small community of weirdos, huh?
All right, it's a small community of us. When you say community, the community has a word or a name. What's the community name?
Mannequin fetishes?
Mannequin fetishes.
Fetishes, yes.
So that means you have a fetish about these particular type mannequins.
Yes.
And what is your fetish about these type mannequins?
Well, they're somebody, it's very sentimental to us, or to me personally. Sentimental? They're like real women to us.
So that's more than sentiment.
Yes.
If they're like real women. So you do with these dolls what you would do with real women? Is that it?
What we do with these dolls is we take them out. They live with us. It's like a mail order bride, but it's like a mail order bride.
I don't know anything about that.
You marry it. Yes,
so
you do everything you would.
You have to educate me. Tell me what you do with these dolls.
So we take these mannequins, and they mean something to me. She means something to me.
What does she mean to you?
She's close to my heart.
She like a girlfriend?
She's like a girlfriend, yes.
But you're having a hard time saying it, huh?
Yeah.
What is your doll? Does your doll have a name? Well, do you call her doll or mannequin?
No, her name is Joanna.
Okay, so what does Joanna do for you?
She provides comfort because I'm a really lonely person, and she provides comfort. And though I'm living with my mother on my mother's property in a back house, I have Joanna there to keep me company and to keep me happy in a way.
So you have sexual fantasies with Joanna?
There's been times where I've made love to Joanna.
And you said you eat with Joanna?
It's all legal because we're married.
Oh. It's legal because she's your doll and your mannequin. You can do whatever you want to do with your mannequin, I guess.
Well, that's exactly my point, Your Honor.
You eat with her?
Yes. Go out to lunch in public.
You take this doll out?
Yes.
I mean, you take Joanna out?
I take Joanna out to lunch. Or I did before my mother destroyed her.
In public?
Out to public, yes.
Did you bring Joanna?
No,
she destroyed Joanna.
it. Yeah, she destroyed Joanna.
Well, did you bring me something so I can see what Joanna looks like?
Yes, I brought pictures and the receipt, what Joanna looks like.
The receipt? I definitely gonna put my glasses on for this. I know you're joking.
Oh, that's the real thing. Well, it's the real.
$5,499.45 is what you paid for Joanna?
That's how much I paid for her.
So you dress her and can't take her out like that?
Oh, only
in public, so you dress her?
No. In public, she has a dress.
So you buy clothing for her?
I do buy clothing for her. It's like a hobby, but
no, it's a little bit more than a hobby. It's a little bit more than a hobby, honey. That's no hobby I know about. That's a little bit more than a hobby. You're not trying to fix her up. You're trying to let her fix you up, right?
Right, Your Honor.
So in other words, this is your wife, your woman, as opposed to a real live woman.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And is that because you have difficulty relating to human beings on,
Yeah, I have
if they're not a mannequin?
difficulty socializing with people.
Wow. So what do they call that? Have you seen a psychiatrist for this?
No, I have not. I didn't feel I needed to.
So you think this is normal human behavior?
I understand, like, it's different, and it's a different way of living, and it's just because I'm wired differently, which is something that my mother doesn't understand.
You're wired differently.
It's just something I feel towards this doll.
And you have difficulty communicating with a human being.
Yes, Your Honor.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
So I go ask my mother, where did Joanna go? She didn't just walk off like some sexy Pinocchio.
And later,
I realized that, okay, maybe this is part of the initiation. But I warned them. I asked them not to put me in a small place because I am extremely claustrophobic and I have severe asthma.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Carl Giller, who is suing Jennifer Giller for loss of property.
So you sit in the backyard, I understand, and sit on the porch and take this dog wherever.
Well, that's exactly what happened. I sat it on the porch outside in the backyard so I could enjoy the sun and the air and a cup of tea. And then I
wait a minute, so she could enjoy a cup of tea?
Yeah, well, so I could enjoy, yes.
So
that
you
she could
drink
enjoy
the
a cup of
tea
I drink the
and
tea
pretend that she's drinking the tea with you.
Yeah, it's like a grown-up tea
So
party.
it's not one of those dolls like the little girl the children have where you can pour something in her and then it comes out. She can't do all that.
She can't drink anything or anything,
okay.
but she can.
But so you sat her on the porch.
I sat her on the porch and I left to do some work because I'm a data analyst. So I left for about an hour. I come back and Joanna was missing. So I go ask my mother, where did Joanna go? She didn't just walk off like some sexy Pinocchio, you know? And so I'm like, so that's when my mother blatantly tells me I destroyed her and threw her away.
Whoo, Lord Jesus, all you have to do is wake up every morning, you're going to learn something new. Miss Giller, how old are you, young man?
I am 25.
Miss Giller?
Well, the whole thing is such a mess, Your Honor. It's disgusting. The way he behaves is really odd and strange to me and my neighbors. He lives with me. He's my son. I love him dearly, but I cannot stand the way he's behaving. So even one day he asked me to bring him over for dinner and have dinner with us. I was shocked and disgusted.
When he asked you to bring Joanna over for dinner, you just kind of lost it, huh?
I lost it and I couldn't say anything, so he brought it in. I was furious, disgusted, mad, and yet sad too. And I started crying. I didn't say anything. So anyway, that passed, and then a few days later, he had her on the porch, actually outside. I was so frustrated, and I thought, God, I cannot stand it. He's living with me, he pays the rent, he's a renter, and that's the time he has to move out. Maybe that was the best way I could just get rid of him.
So that's why you destroyed the doll? I mean, Joanna.
That's what I did, destroy the doll. It's just a sex doll anyway.
What did you do?
Cut off her head and the arm. And basically, I thought to me it's a piece of plastic. It's nothing else. So I threw him in a trash can.
So you cut off her head, threw her in the trash?
Yeah, I thought maybe this way he sees she's dead or something. Maybe he can come to his senses.
So you thought if you did that he just wouldn't go buy another one?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't think that way.
You were just mad and embarrassed.
I was just mad. I thought maybe this is something I can just do at the moment.
You were more embarrassed than mad. Because you're your neighbors, right?
Because of my neighbors, true.
He's a tenant. It's his property. Whatever you thought about it, you don't have the right to destroy it. You really don't.
All, Your Honor. I can pay for his medical bill or something if he goes to the doctor, sees psychiatrist.
He obviously doesn't want to do that.
Well, it's his
You
problem.
like what you're doing.
I was happy.
What could it be? I mean, I don't understand it. How could you be happy with just some piece of doll and plastic?
Because it was real to me. Like, it was something that just doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me.
How long has Joanna been gone?
That was about 6 months ago.
So what are you doing now? What's your life like now?
Well, since Joanna was, I took her to the repair shop, and they said she was beyond repair, so I ordered another one. And that's what the receipt was for.
And that's why you want her to pay for the new one.
Yeah, Kimberly.
No, Your Honor.
So you see, it destroying her is just like I tell people about other relationships. When a person wants to be with somebody else, you can do whatever you want to do. You can shoot them, you can cut them, you can beat them, you can even do what you did, throw it in the trash. He likes that. So it's not going to stop him. But what it did was cost you some money. Judgment for the plaintiff, you got to pay him the money. Judgment for the plaintiff.
He makes good money, Your Honor.
All rise. Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $5,499.94.
Just because you don't understand something doesn't make it wrong.
You're my son. I love you. I think it's time for you to get some help.
Coming up.
I realized that, okay, maybe this is part of the initiation. But I warned them. I asked them not to put me in a small place because I am extremely claustrophobic and I have severe asthma.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Forrester Cross is suing his former friend, Sheila Hainsworth, in the amount of $2,500. He says he sustained significant injuries when he was hazed by members of the defendant's organization. Ms. Hainsworth claims the plaintiff was aware of the club's traditions and should have been more mindful before pledging.
In the matter of Forrester Cross versus Sheila Hainsworth suing for $2,500 from injuries sustained during a college hazing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me about it.
I'm here with Sheila. She is the president of the sorority, and I sustained injuries during the hazing.
Okay, now you're a male.
Yes.
She's a female.
Ah,
and
sorry.
she's the president of the sorority that you're in?
Fraternity soror. It's a co-ed sorority.
Talk to me about it. So you were pledging.
Yes. I re-counseled with Sheila on the campus, and I approached her about the sororities.
What do you mean re-counter?
We actually, I ran into him while I was giving a speech while I was recruiting for people to join the fraternity soror.
So you already graduated?
I'm a graduate, yeah.
All right, and you were doing recruitment
on campus.
And ran into Mr. Cross.
Yes.
You knew each other from the past.
Yes.
Yes,
she was my brother's ex. She is my brother's ex.
Okay, got it.
And so I heard her speaking about the organization, and I approached her about it to rekindle one and to get information because I was interested in the scholarships and the mentorship programs that they offered, and also the jobs afterward that they guaranteed.
Okay.
And so she had that information. I went to talk to her, catch up with her a little bit. She was like an older sister to me. But then after all that, after the breakup,
Why would you sue your older sister?
Was bitter, and my brother didn't talk to her anymore, but she tried to stay around. She tried to show up to family events as if she were still welcome.
Your Honor, I don't understand how that's relevant.
Well, maybe it's relevant to what he has to say.
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
She told me that I would have to go through a certain amount of steps in order to fully be pledged into it. And so one night, she had called me on the dorm phone and asked me to meet her outside at like 12 o'clock midnight. So I went out to the water fountain that she asked me to meet her by, and when I got there, nobody was around. Nobody, not her, was there. And so moments later, I was ambushed by a couple of people who I assumed were from the fraternity or fraternity soror, because they blindfolded me and they were moving me. So
you don't know who blindfolded you?
I don't know who blindfolded me.
Okay.
And so I was moved. I don't know where I was going. I was just along for the ride, apparently, because I realized that, okay, maybe this is part of the initiation. Maybe this is something going on. But I warned them. I asked them not to put me in a small place because I am extremely claustrophobic and I have severe asthma.
Okay.
So by the time I got to wherever they were taking me, I was thrown into a wet, dark small space.
Oh.
And I was locked in this small room about the size of I felt around, it was about the size of a walk-in closet.
So you couldn't take the blindfolds off?
I did take the blindfold off.
Oh, okay.
But it was really dark. There was no light, no fresh air, no water. They left me with nothing.
How long? How were you in there?
For about 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Coming up.
I actually came out of the basement covered in my own sweat and vomit.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Forrester Cross, who is suing Sheila Hainsworth for personal injury.
What happened to you in there?
Well, I experienced just pain from the asthma. I couldn't breathe. There was just heavy wheezing and coughing. It was terrible. And then the anxiety from my claustrophobia, it just overcame me. And I actually came out of the basement covered in my own sweat and vomit.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So where does the $2,500 come in?
From the injuries, the personal injuries I've sustained during this hazing.
You went to a doctor?
Yes, I went to the doctor.
You have a bill?
I do.
May I see it?
Yes, you may.
2 days later, and when you came out of it 2 days later, who met you or who did you deal with when you came out of that dark, cold room?
Well, once I crawled out of the basement,
they didn't let you out?
No, they opened the basement door,
okay.
But I had to crawl out because I was weak and just drained from the experience. And so I crawled out the basement, and I was greeted by the fraternity soror saying, once I saw Sheila again, I told her I didn't want to be a part of some organization that treated people this way.
Ms. Hainsworth, now what do you have to say?
I did tell him that, you know, there would be a month-long initiation phase, and it's been a tradition for over hundreds of years.
But you didn't tell him what the initiation would consist of because that's against your rules.
Yeah, it's against our rules. Yes,
Yeah.
we do have liability, and we did ask him to give us a list of any allergies, anything that he may feel that we shouldn't know.
Your Honor, she did no such thing.
Okay, so if you asked him that, he didn't tell you that he had asthma and he was claustrophobic?
No, ma'am.
She knew.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
At the end of the day, you have to be responsible for acts that you encourage and you participate in that could cost someone's life. You're lucky that the man didn't die because you could be facing a murder charge. Criminal murder.
Again.
So that's what you got to have to understand, that you have to be responsible for that.
How can I prove that I was not aware of this?
You know what?
How
Judgment for the plaintiff, $2,500. You figure out how you can prove it. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $2,500.
What you did was wrong, and I hope people learn that hazing is never okay.
And I'm sorry I even made an exception. Clearly, you're not cut out for frat life.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.